We just saw Ed driving
Yeah,
down the
it's
road.
old.
Oh, is it? Must be those.
Issues.
We're all set?
Want me to do the?
Yeah, you get it? Seriously, that.
It's your head shining on the.
She said door.
And so, tell my kids that way, it's, you know, it's almost all known, so. Yeah, that's better.
Did you?
Movie quality.
Oh, Jesus.
Can be on the big
Three more
screen.
weeks and my kids are on their license, so they'd probably be arrested. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Good evening, folks. We call the meeting to order here. Excuse me, one Academy Street at Swanton Town Offices, Tuesday, August 17th at 7 p.m. First item on the agenda is the pledge of allegiance. Please stand and rest. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
Of the United States of America.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review. I'm good for agenda review.
The executive session, personnel, please.
Nicole, anything?
I was also going to add personnel
Okay.
for executive session, and are we going to continue the talks about the funds this evening, or are we going to wait until a full board?
We probably need to be a full board, so have your opinion. Is that on here?
It is not on here.
It's not on, it should be on the report.
That's why I asked.
We're from the top.
The American Rescue.
Yeah, is that, can we put that on there for boilerplate on our future agendas? So we can talk about it. Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Shane, you got anything?
I do.
You good?
On the second tax rating, I didn't know if they'd done by today, so do you wanna just put it
Okay.
under the quarterly financial review or?
Sure. Yeah.
Eight,
Yep, the tax rate.
that would work. Thank you.
That mean we're gonna get tax bills soon? David, anything?
Yeah, under new business, just an announcement about the new passive rules regarding the cyber security.
Anything else, David? You hear a motion to approve the minutes from the August 3rd select board meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 3rd select board meeting.
I'll send it else.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Public comment, anybody got anything to add under public comment that is not on the agenda?
So I just kind of overheard you talking that you, Betsy Fournier. Swan.
Thank you.
I just overheard you talking about that you weren't gonna discuss the funds, this evening. But I just wanted to, give you all a copy of, the action items in our municipal plan, because I think it's a great place to start. To kind of look at what we create as a municipal plan and where we're at and what we need to do moving forward. That's in the plan. I think it's a great tool to use moving forward when it comes to spending the funds, because there's a lot of great things in here that your boards took a lot of time putting together. So I just think it's a really useful tool, and sometimes reading something that's already printed for you, instead of reading the whole municipal plan, which I have, here it is. I'll just share it with you all.
Okay. Thank you, Betsy.
Of course.
Anything else, public comment?
I brought that.
Law enforcement, animal control officer monthly report, page 4. One, two little things. Is Jim on tonight? No?
Reported, sure.
Yeah. Alright, New town business, open review engineer, excuse me, open review engineering proposal for culvert replacement project on Newby Road. Dollar. It's Christmas. I'll open them up fast again. So it's back. Pass it down. I know, probably will. This thing, duck feet, everything else. You sure can if you want, yeah. No. I don't do that for that stuff. Well, this one will look at it, cuts off sheet. Is there a bunch of holes in there?
Well, there's a lot of proposals
Oh,
and a
thank
cost
you.
proposal on this one.
This one.
Should be
Zip something.
Should have dark.
It's probably on the other end. It is.
Did you need a knife for that?
No, I'm good, thank you. I got it all. I guess so. I must open this one first. Yeah.
I got this one. You're so sweet.
Try. I guess it's complicated.
Yeah, I have something that's $6.
Over $6. This must be like a looking for. What's that? Yeah, go ahead. I'm just going to look at it.
What is one, three?
On paper.
Yeah. This is what we're looking for. The first one is from
Mark?
Du Bois and King. You guys want a copy of this one, so you know what I'm looking at, or you want to read the prices? We can do that. Look. You want a copy? Sure.
Yeah.
What is
So the whole book, you want a book, study that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the book. Instructions. Over. There's more than one number in there, so I'm trying to figure out what's
And that one, they have a concept.
Attachment B, estimate engineering services. Construction. There's more than, there's an A, B, and traffic outlets. This is I did too, but I'm trying to make sure that you're looking at, I mean, we can compare apples to apples out to make sure. This is attachment B, estimate engineering services. 2 hours. total engineering fees. 30,185, it looks like, for total engineering fees. Just trying to verify that that's, and that's Du Bois and King. See, there's another thing that says total engineering fees for attachment B. And I have to go back to the file afterwards to make sure. What others.
I did.
Well, this must be the cover sheet right here. Tell us about it. We're gonna see it. Over there, right here. These. Yeah, I'll have to go back through it after, make sure. They're not, they're different things. There's a total director's labor fee, total overhead fee, fixed fee, lifting expense fee. Go back. Just to verify, but then I really like. Yeah, what do you yours?
This proposal is from Otter Creek Engineering, for engineering cost of $28,050.
I have East Engineering for a estimated total cost of $18,000. And I also have Cross Consulting Engineers with the amount of $22,927.46. $22,927.46.
You have another one? What was that?
I only have two, so.
Just
Give
give
me
me.
five.
That'd be the fifth one.
What's that?
That would be the fifth one.
This is the fifth one?
That's the last one.
Yeah. This one.
She had two, I had one.
Oh, yeah, you're right, too, sorry. Yeah, right. Alright, this is Ruggiano Engineering, and then coming from the cover sheet, maybe it's on the quote. I didn't see it in there, I'll go back and look again.
Tough ones, sir.
I guess I did, apparently. You guys are easy ones. I didn't see any dollar amounts in the front cover.
The last page.
Is it the last page? Oh, there we go. I must have missed it.
And this be the last page here.
Oh, no wonder you can't find that. I'm looking at the pictures. There we go. Whee! Wow. Roussillon Engineering, their grand total for their project is $27,025. Was there one in that book I gave you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had it squeezed in between them, too hard for it.
Some of that is. Okay. 30,000.
185.
Yeah, 30,185.
Plus 6,000.
Well, that's what I need to verify, because there was two different amounts in there, go back to it then. There's two different. Was hours. This total engineering fees, 30,185, that's gonna be it. That's just hours estimated, so that's gonna be what that is. That's what we're going with.
This is the next one for each
This
of
is
you.
the other one.
Try.
No, 30,185, so.
So East Engineering is the cheapest one. Yeah, I see a copy of that.
There's two packages today.
There's two. We're gonna get
So this
these guys
cross
before.
was I think.
Yeah, I need to get one of each.
You want one?
That one, David.
It's one of each for David.
That's one each.
Yeah, one back.
One for you.
Thank you.
One for Ed.
These two things. We have these guys before, yeah. Just wanna see, make sure we have it. That was in
RFP.
RFP that they had overseen the project, I just wanted to make sure. Project rep right here, yeah, it's good. What was Cross's estimate?
22.9.
Yeah.
There's the actual.
Yep. Okay. I don't have a problem with this thing here, we've used it before, it was the best bid price. I can motion to go East
I'll make the motion that we go with East Engineering for the cost of $18,000 for the Beaver Road culvert replacement project.
And I'll second that.
Alright, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Right.
No, opposed, ayes have it.
I'll go over there.
There's Russian lines there, and Ross is there. I have promises. That's an extra copy from the, I'll make this one for myself. Alright. You need anything else from us, David, on that, you wrote about this, so we can
Yeah, I'll
forward that.
well, what I'll do is I'll draft a contract with Tyler and,
Okay.
bring it back to the board and then
Sounds good.
get back with it. And just to let you know, this end of the project, the engineering, we do in January.
Okay.
That you don't have to produce a product.
Yeah. So let's go with project.
And then, once that goes out to bid, you
Yep.
have construction firms, and then those will come back in. And,
Yeah, that'll be good.
whoever gets that awarded, then that starts.
So hopefully it's out in spring.
Yeah, and this grant is good till, the end of 2023.
Okay.
You're talking very softly, they're
Yeah, I
having
can,
trouble
I
hearing
got
you.
hearing aids, I can.
It's hard to hear you in here.
Sorry.
Oh,
But
anyway,
David was just talking about the process for next, now that we've hired an engineer for what we have to do, we have to send that. Right, he's gotta write a contract, and they gotta send it back for us to sign, and then we send it back to them. Then they have to have the engineering paperwork in by January.
Beginning
So
of
we can put it out
January.
to bid for construction for next year. So. Okay, swamp enhancement, forestry, land update,
that's Betsy.
that's Betsy.
That's me.
Requested it.
That's big, where's Nancy?
I did send a presentation, oh, there it is, look at that.
Oh, there we go.
How fancy is that?
Color, no.
I have my own in my hand, so I can just kind of talk through it a little bit. So we did hold our community input event on July 24th at the 4th Street property. We had a pretty good turnout. I think there was quite a few people that came out and to kind of give us some great ideas. We received 30 comments, input from the community. We had people walking by and biking by and just, kind of yelling out stuff. And so it was great to see the community come out and really invest in this piece of property. There was people of all ages, and we collaborated with the library, with the rec. Locomotion came with some bikes just to kind of bring people in, and we had ice cream as well. So we had 26 people respond to this is the online survey that we did. 126, sorry. And this was the response, so let me look at my sheet. Would you like to see the 4th Street property used to be for recreational use? And 92.9% said yes, and 7.1% said no.
You're welcome.
And then the next slide, what potential ideas would you like to see on the lot? Select all that apply. Do you want me to read through them all?
The ones you got up here?
Yeah,
You can if you want.
just for the
The
people.
people, yeah.
Okay, so kiosks, about Swanton in the town, 32%, 32.5. Pavilion with picnic table, 69.88. Bike repair station, 27%. Adult fitness, 52. Public restrooms, 63. Additional courts, and it's supposed to be like, I think pickleball, basketball is 51%. Multi-purpose, and that's supposed to be, it says station, but we believe it's a typo, because on the next slide, you'll see it says multi-purpose facility. It was 59.5. So the next slide says, if a multi-purpose building, I would like to see the following. So there's a lot in here, so I'm just gonna read the top 5. Common space for rent, 61%, so that's 77 people. Community groups, 62.7, 79 people. Office space, 11, 8.7. Accessible kitchen space, 50, 39.7%. And indoor courts was 55 people and 43.7%. And then the other ones were just like a 0.1 or a 0.08 percentage. And the next slide just talks about if they were Swanton residents, and if so, where do you live? So 119 people were Swanton residents, and then, if you are a Swanton resident, where do you live? So 50% lived in the village, and Swanton Village with a resident that abuts the Forestry property was the little red slice. It doesn't have a percentage there. And then the 44.4% were the Swanton town, and then additional was the green. All right, next slide. This is just kind of, we asked if they wanted to be informed moving forward, and so 3.2 said no, and 6.9.8 said yes. And then the next slide is in-person input. So this is the actual event that we had on 4th Street. So some of the blocks say, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't read
You
them.
don't have to read it, boss, or we're
That's what we're
chuckling.
Okay.
Say the truth.
Okay, so it says, I don't give a shit, I just don't want any housing. So mixed-use community parking, restrooms, civilian hookup for vendors, exercise station, open space, place for seniors to walk and meet, pool and swimming lessons, amenities or walking paths, don't sell, mixed-use space for kids and teens, indoor basketball, adult fitness space for exercises for people that don't go to the gym. Bring people into the community to use the wonderful existing updated recreation path all season, keep for overflow parking. Community center, create jobs for youth. Parking or trailhead, team space, dancing, gathering, dog park, climbing wall. Alright, so the next page is, so we went to some of the abutting property owners, and also down 4th Street, as well as Platt Street, and was that the only street? Yeah. So this sheet just tells, this was kind of like what we handed out to people, who we are, where is this, kind of our mission, and potential ideas, and we want to hear from you, okay? So the next slide, do you like these ideas proposed? 7 out of 15 said yes, 1 said no. Do you have additional suggestions for the committee to consider? 6 strongly opposed to housing, 1 said sell it, 2 letters sent to the select board, would like to see information on stations or bikes. And then would you like to be updated on the process? And that's it.
I'd like to jump up as the co-chair.
Co-chair.
I was not able to attend the 24 July community input, but as part of this process, what we said we would do is come to the select board in September with a proposal. What we're asking is, we'd like to do that proposal on the first meeting in October, and I believe that's the 6th of October, if that's all right with you folks.
That's fine.
And that would give us enough time to take the input that we get from the select board and have our final product for December, like the original timeline was out there. The one thing I do want to add is there is a lot of opportunity right now, and I don't think it's too early. If we're really thinking as a select board and as a community of some type of rec facility, combined rec facility community space, is somebody approaching our senators right now and putting a bug in their ear of, we are a community that wants to do a project. We will have some information with prices and stuff in October, but we could get that sooner. I just know Congress is pretty much out of session right now, but they're coming back in the fall. And they're gonna be wheeling and dealing. We have 2 senators right now who have a lot of pull. And if anybody from Swanton could get into their office and chat with them, and I know talking with Kathy LaVoy, they're waiting to hear. So I really strongly suggest if there's any way we can do it, is we get into those offices, put a bug in your ear, and we'll be glad to provide you with a dollar amount if indeed we're thinking that's the way we wanna go. With 120 something online responses, 30 comments written on site, there's only been 1 or 2 who talk about putting apartments or something there. And the majority say, keep it, do something with rec, do something with community. I'm certainly hoping, and I think as a committee, we're hoping that we do something under the rec and community center wise there, but I think we have a great opportunity to get to those senators and see if we can get in on one of these bills as an earmark or something. Just throw that out there tonight, because I think it's an opportunity we shouldn't wait too long for.
You will.
You're welcome.
Let me just add, I certainly appreciate you guys' effort, because it's something we asked for. I would certainly want them to say, hey, let's hold on, let's make no haste decision. I think that, stepping back and looking at it, I think whether it be record community is the right approach. I am not in favor of putting apartments there, housing at this point, so that's just having some time to think about and seeing things and hearing people. I do think that it has to be something for the community. I'm not saying it needs to be a rec center, a teen center, a community center at this point. I just think it has to be community. What that is yet, I don't know, but I'll say it for the record, I'm not in support of putting an apartment building in there any longer, so.
Thank you.
Anything else for the forestry project? SWOT enhancement project, Memorial Valley Rail Trail funding discussion. Is that you again, Betsy?
No,
No?
I mean, I'm part of it, but that's these 2.
You'll let them take it, no?
We're a good team. I know when I show up, it's all Betsy.
I'm gonna start off with some thoughts on what to do with the property, and Chris will talk more about the grant piece of it.
Do we have that in our packet, David? What he's-
No, you don't.
Okay. Something different.
Well, I had some printer issues and did not have time to get that fixed before today. So there's a map on one side and some estimates on the second side, and I will talk to you first about the side with the map. If you take a look, try to get your bearings there. Robin Hood Drive is clearly delineated. Precision Tools, you can kind of see the building in the upper left, a little bit of Precision Tools in their parking lot.
Yep.
And then what you can see is the old railroad, I don't know if you want to call it a spur, but where the track curves. So it's almost like a triangular piece of land. There's one on the north side of the LVRT, there's one on the south side of the LVRT. And I'd hope to have a better answer before tonight, and I know I talked with you, James, about talking with the state. We were gonna walk the property prior to meeting.
Yep.
But because of the flooding in the southern part of the state,
Yep.
they have not been able to set up a date to come up here
Yeah.
and talk with us yet. That hopefully is gonna take place next week. Working with someone that Dave's familiar with, Trini Broussard, and Mark Fitzgerald works for her. When I talked with her, she was very receptive to leasing that property to the town of Swanton. What's that?
I wouldn't think it would be an issue with us being able to use it.
Right. Like I said, she was very receptive. She told Mark to get with us and to start the process, but because of the flooding, that just hasn't happened yet. Now, one thing I hear a little bit about is possible wetlands there. Peter Cross Consultant, is ready to do a wetlands delineation. FCIDC has said they would fund that. So after we meet with the state and looks like we can go forward, then we will work on a wetlands determination, because if it's a type of wetland we can't build, this is dead in its tracks. If it's something we can do, then we certainly wanna move forward. So if you look at the map, what I just sketched out real quick on the northern, I'm gonna use the word triangle, it's not a triangle with that curved side, but that's what I'm gonna call it, is a proposed parking area, a small pavilion where you could put a couple picnic tables, about 15 by 20, bike rack, concrete slab to put some portalets on. Maybe some event's gonna happen where you want portalets, but year round that may not be the case, but it would give us some flexibility. So some pretty basic items that could be done to help facilitate the use of that piece of property. Parking lot big enough, you could put in some snowmobile trailers. Thought it was interesting, the email that I just read that said within 10 miles of this end of the trail, that was at 3 sites where they could park snowmobile trailers.
Yeah.
That's all great, but if you're trying to get people into Swanton,
Right.
why not have some access right in Swanton to that western end of the trail? So that's what we're looking at. If you flip to the other side, as part of the grant, I've got 2 columns. The left column is kind of some basic cost where it would take some community action. That pavilion, the size of it would be a very easy project for 3, 4, half dozen people to go down there and put it up within a couple days. So I only put in the cost of materials at that point. Bike repair station, bike rack, that could all just be set on there very easy, the concrete pads. The gravel is a material only cost, so what we'd be looking for if we went for the lower end of the grant monies would be for the highway crew to go in and to do the clearing, do the stump removal, and to put the stone down. And to put a culvert in so that you'd have access from the parking lot right to the rail trail without going out onto Robin Hood. So roughly 27.9, so for a grant application, I'm saying we should go for around 30,000. And then going to the little bit higher end, the second column, this would be pretty much contracting most of the work, if not all the work. But it also includes paving it.
Yeah.
So
That would be nice.
for 105, I'd rather see it paved than not, but what we don't know yet, we'll talk about the grant in more detail in just a minute, is how much might be available. So just trying to get a spectrum out there, so if we do a letter of intent, which is what we're gonna ask you about tonight, that we have a range so we can talk with the people who do the grant, and we can adjust our costs accordingly. So the second column is pretty much all contracted out.
Yep.
I would recommend we write a grant request for around 115. I know it shows 105, but right now that's just plain a number, so I'm just passing that a little extra.
anyways with cost
Yeah.
inflation.
So that's what we're looking at. Nothing fancy, nothing too great, but it would make it much more accessible and get us started, and then still have the southern piece of property down the road. If it gets enough use, and that other piece, we could do something with it at a later date.
Okay, so I'm Christine Sweeney, and right now we have the opportunity to apply for a grant through the Agency of Natural Resources, Department of Forest, Parks and Recreation, and it's called the Ursa Grant, Enhancement of Recreation, Stewardship, and Access Trail Grants. This year, there's a one-time money available, no matches required, it's COVID relief money, and this Ursa grant is specifically to increase accessibility and stewardship of existing trails and to stimulate economic recovery. So it's free money, and it really seems like it's a good match. The minimum grant is $25,000, and there's no ceiling. And Betsy and I both attended a couple of online workshops and started to talk individually with the people who are going to be awarding the money. And so even though there's no ceiling, they do look for some in-kind contribution. Partners in the community are looking for that. And actually, Ken Brown, who I've been talking with at VAST, he said if this goes forward, VAST could give us a letter of support. And they are looking to spread this money around geographically in the state. And on the workshops that I've been on, we're the only ones in the very northwest corner of the state. I mean, most of the people who are attending these workshops and like trying to make themselves known are from Rutland, Brattleboro, you know, the southern part of the state. So it just feels like it's not only a good match, and we can definitely make a case about economic recovery by this grant. So, you know, and we don't know, like Joel was saying, you know, $25,000 minimum, but, you know, we probably can submit a phased approach, and it'd be great if they would give us the, you know, the higher amount. So the letter of interest is due August 27th, and if you give us the authorization, Betsy has money from Rise Vermont. She's hired a grant writer who could do this for us or you. And what happens is the letters of interest go in. The group at the state, they winnow down which applications they like, and they invite those applicants to make a final application. And that happens September 27th. The full application is due November 15th. The projects need to start in 2022, and they need to be completed by 2023, but they may extend a year due to, you know, extenuating circumstances. The other thing I just want to mention is what Joel talked about. So Ken Brown today at VAST, he said, you know, this Ursa grant doesn't come through, just to keep in mind that Senator Sanders is proposing lots of money for transportation enhancement, and one of the parts of it is $2 million specifically for the LVRT infrastructure. I mean, I don't believe this is passed yet. I think it's for next fiscal year, and like Joel said, that they haven't approved this, but there's this money also. So there's just a lot of opportunity right now to take advantage of these funds.
So what our ask is tonight is whether the town of Swanton would support and actually sign off on a letter of intent. We'll prepare the letter of intent. I'd like to see it where it's the town of Swanton and the Swanton Enhancement Committee, Swanton Enhancement Project, as part of this grant request. But being the town, being the lead, I think is gonna make a stronger case. I don't think there's any harm in getting a letter of intent out in August. We'll know late August, early September, whether the land's usable or not. And if it's not, send a letter saying thank you, but please remove us. And if it's usable, then we go full steam ahead and try to get some money and do something with that piece of property.
Well, first, thank you guys. It seems like you've really put a lot in, especially this area here, because I know one of the areas I talked to you and you about, I said, hey, where's the terminus stuff that I asked for? So again, thank you. I just think this is a huge possibility and option for us, especially to alleviate any kind of conversation of putting a parking lot on 4th Street. So this moves it up there, kind of gets it away from that. For me, I'm in full support, but that's just me. So,
I'm also in full support.
And I think it's a win-win. It's helping the people that bike and ride. It's also helping the vast people that ride. There's a little bit of stuff too for a place to park. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and it really isn't relevant, but I just finished a project on the Mississippi Valley Rail Trail. I did for them, and it spent 2 weeks on that trail. And I just can't believe the amount of people that use that trail. I mean, from St. Albans to Ridgeford, it don't matter what section you're on, there's always somebody on there riding. The everyday regulars are out there riding. It just, I couldn't believe it. And I would say, from my time working there, I think parking is the most important thing. You know, because I mentioned to them, like, while I was working for Enosburg, there's not a really good parking spot up there for people to park. You know, there's places for them to park, but so parking is important. You know.
Trail infrastructure.
It was amazing that, you know, from my knowledge of working on there, that it's not just local people, they're out-of-state people. You know, they have sign-in boxes and stuff. I had to build some new ones, and I read some people's where they've been from and stuff, and all over the state, different states, and amazing how many people use that trail. So, you know, if we get this trail parking for them, I think it'll bring the people in here.
I think it's a great option. Again, thank you for you guys to work on this, because I think it's, I don't want to say even bigger than the Forestry property, but the opportunity just to start with that just puts us out there for everybody. So good, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's gonna lead to more opportunities on 4th Street, is what it's gonna do. I mean, I think our our committee's done a phenomenal job, really, giving the community and giving the select board what they asked for. I mean, this committee is a great group of people, who just really wanna get stuff done, so.
No, you've given everything I've asked and challenged you,
Yeah.
so thank you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you want some?
yeah, well, we wanna, if possible, get approval for the
Did you want to make the motion right now?
Oh.
I'll make a motion to send a letter of support is what you need, right?
a letter of intent.
Letter of intent, okay.
I will make a motion for the town to give support for them to write a letter of intent for this project, so.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again, folks, for your hard work, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
What's that?
Offer it to you.
Do you
No,
want to make
The way it works,
Yeah.
Joel, you're gonna send the letter in, right?
The town is gonna be
Yeah.
the lead on this with the Swanton Enhancement
So wait.
project.
When the
So
letter
somebody
to
from
select
the
board
town
also
will-
link the letter, from the select board?
Either that or you,
Or
or
we're
we're
gonna have you sign it?
Yeah,
Okay.
make a motion for Dave to sign it, whichever way you want, we can format the
We
letter.
can have David sign it.
I'll make the motion to authorize you to sign that letter.
And I will second.
It's an online application, so we're gonna give
Oh, okay.
David all of the content for the letter, and he just has to sign it.
Should I?
We'll make sure it's done.
Easy peasy.
You made the motion, you seconded it. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you so much.
Alright.
Thank you guys, ladies.
And you need that letter by August
27th.
20th,
Before the 20th.
before the 20th, so.
We'll start working on it. We just had to get
Okay.
approval and then we're gonna start rolling.
If you have any problems, let me know.
Definitely.
Alright. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Accessible Palm Shore recreation signs.
So that's
Betsy
the-
again, come on,
Yeah.
Betsy.
So, back in, I think it was March of 2020, the SE group came in and did a presentation on, the McQuam Shore signage. And then Rise Vermont gave you $1,500, to support signage along McQuam Shore. So you have packets in front of you, correct?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
If not, I have copies.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. I got it.
So I took it upon myself to get all the quotes. And the reason why I did that was because St. Albans town also received the same funding for the signage, and the signage is exactly the same on both ends of McQuam Shore. And I wanted to keep the consistency using the same sign company and the same designer, so that way all the signs are consistent. So basically, it gives you the total cost of the blank signs. We have to order the blank signs first, then we'll send them to the designer, and they put the designs on them. So that total cost for all of that was $967.25, leaving us with $523.75, which this doesn't include the hardware or the poles. So once we get the signs, I can work with the town highway department on poles and hardware. And then placement of the signs. In the presentation, it showed exactly where they needed to go. I mean, I know we just did the scoping study on McQuam Shore, but this will kind of, until we can find some funding or to complete that project or start the project, this is a nice opportunity to kind of slow traffic down and really be aware of the area, and also to recognize that it's actually the ship to shore bike route.
Yeah. It's a pretty big sign, yeah, they'll see it.
Let's say that's big.
40 by 60.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah.
And then, so then I received like a kind of someone sent me this picture on the bottom. It's hard to see, I know. It's a share the road signs. I didn't know if we have maybe funds left over. I don't know how much these signs are. Do you not, oh, you don't
don't
have
see
that on yours.
Oh, all I see is ship to shore.
Well, anyway, so it's a share the road sign.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen them with a car and a bike or a walker. Maybe some of those if we have anything left over.
So the sign that he's talking about, the only one I've seen is, it's when you cross over going towards Isle of Mott. It's a neon sign and it says it's the law 4 feet distance between cars and bicyclists, which is a law. And it really is a problem that, you know, roads are narrow, there's very little shoulder.
Yep.
It just makes people aware that there is a law. In it, so it'd be just helpful if there's some money that can be found somewhere in a couple of places. I mean, it's not just McClung Shore, people find a lot of different places. And
Lakewood Drive is big.
Lakewood Drive, you know, there's countless places.
Yeah, so if
Maybe there's
there's,
some highway safety money out there that could buy
Well,
one too.
yeah.
There'd be something, I mean, that's a highway safety thing, basically.
yeah, it is.
So,
Yeah, if there's any money in the highway fund, maybe we can.
well, I don't know about highway fund, I said highway safety out there. There must be a grant out there for that. Yeah.
So I believe that you already all approved this, you have the funds, you signed the agreement. It's just a matter of, I can work with Kathy on ordering, I already have the quotes, the
Yeah.
paperwork, everything.
So we need to order the signs? You're gonna take care of that?
Well, you have the money
Oh,
already.
we have that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Alright. But you're gonna do the footwork, right?
I did it all
You
already,
already-
might as well keep going, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So do we need to, we already approved it,
Yeah, you're good.
but do we need to approve buying the signs for these people or no? Are we doing that?
I don't know how you do that, cause it was,
Over a certain, a certain amount threshold.
I don't know. What, how was the original?
Well, the grant was $1,500 to get the signs.
Yeah,
And now basically the signs are gonna be $967.25 out of a $1,500 grant. And then you have $523 left over to purchase these
I
signs
don't
that you
think
wanna
we
do,
need a
right?
motion to, for
Or
us to
the
take
The new
it.
signs?
Spend the $900 whatever dollars.
No,
on the signs.
when
Yeah.
the checks are cut, that's when you approve the
Yeah, alright,
warrants for that.
okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else, Bessie? Good today?
I think I'm good.
Sure.
I'm pretty happy with everything that I came for.
Alright. E, passive, rules you wanna talk about here.
Right,
You're gonna make that short, sweet, right?
yeah,
Okay.
last week we got a,
David, speak up.
sorry, I'll sit this way. Last week, I received an email from Passive, that contained a survey about how we protect our cybersecurity here. The first page I had to fill out, general information on town contact. And then, they wanted the IT person that we have to fill out the rest. Because it was that specific to what kind of protections we have right now. And also there were some financial questions that Kathy helped with. And the gist of it is, if we don't have cybersecurity set up that complies with the new standards that they're setting, this is our insurance company, then they won't insure us for cybersecurity. So we have to make sure that we're gonna be in compliance to keep that. And the reason for it is the private insurers that they deal with have all been getting hit with big losses because of breaches and so forth. And they gave an example of the one recent one in the area that cost, I believe, $163 million, was caused by an employee who took the employer's laptop on vacation and went surfing for different things that were not employee related, picked up a virus, brought it back, and as soon as you connected back in to their computer system, it just exploded and shut them down for a ransomware attack. So anyway, we're working on that now, Kathy and I and our IT person.
Yeah.
And there will be some extra costs for it and extra procedures that everyone will have to comply with to make it secure.
We thought most of the computers got updated with the software today,
Yeah.
except for mine.
Yeah.
You don't want to take that?
We take it.
As long as you don't come back and tell us we gotta have a 29-digit password, we'll be all set.
No, but there will be a two-step process if you have the email on your phone for the town. So you have to log in every time, you can't just click your.
Well, I won't be getting emails anymore, I gotta log in every time. Alright, anything else on that, David?
No,
Alright,
we'll keep you updated.
alright, thank you. Old Town Business, Library Committee update. Anything, Mark?
You want to do it or-
So, last night David and I met with the library committee, Caleb, Rebecca, Rich, and what's the, Abby, thank you. Trying to resolve how we can come together and take over the library. We've had conversations now for maybe a year, if not more. I think without putting too much out there at this point, we've had a great first meeting. Got a few other things we gotta work out as far as some policies and so on and so forth. Dave's got a little bit of homework and some action points that we had to do. I think it was a great first step for a much better partnership for the community, so probably more to come here in probably the next month or so, but for me, that's, unless Caleb wants to speak on it, David, I think it's been a great first step.
Yeah, I don't mean to speak much, it's like, there was a lot of making sure that our policies all align and it's like it's not too disparate. And so, Dave's gonna get us the personnel policies for the town and we're gonna figure out like how, if we just adopt that entirely or if we like have to write our own but make sure it matches the town's policy. So there's stuff like that.
I think once we get all this resolved and figured out, we'll put it out to the public and the board, be transparent, we just, I don't want to put something out there now that we're not finalized on, finances and so on and so forth.
At least from the library side, it's like it was a great meeting, we were very happy. It's like, we're kind of terrified about the fact that, I said it's yesterday, we're terrified about the fact that it represents a very different way of running it. But it's good terrified.
There may be bumps in the road, I think, as we all agreed last night, but I think it's something we can all work through for the best of the community, and it may work overall.
Yeah, and the goal is to try to get it finished this year so that it'll be part of next year's.
That's right.
Budgets can align with whatever the new changes are.
And Kathy won't feel overwhelmed.
Oh, never.
We're basing this all on you, Kathy. It's like, are you okay? Is this fine?
Yeah, it's all good.
They'll all work out.
We are gonna bring you into the discussion more and more as we go, so you won't be in the dark.
So you have another meeting?
So we haven't set a date yet, we got a couple action points that we'll put it up and we'll regroup and come back and again, give an update.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, could I just quickly say, and this, because I feel like this could be handled sooner rather than later. One of the things we talked about is that it would be amazing if there was like a library liaison from the select board.
Yeah, we had that discussion,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
We had that when like the rec has somebody that's a rec commissioner and maybe the other, someone oversees the police department.
We're jealous of the rec commissioner and all of like, we're jealous of the rec that has commissioners.
Yeah.
If that's something that could be
No,
done.
certainly that would be in the discussion. So,
But as we bring up the rec, I mean, we can use the rec as the example of how we work together to come up with things, and so the library could be in that sense as well, so.
Yeah, that's great. It's like, it's no need to rebuild it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
anything else in the library?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Local sales tax issue update. Get that thing here, dude?
Hope so. I contacted, and Brian Savage was working on it also, people at the state. And the first person I spoke with kind of kept insisting that it doesn't have a St. Albans mailing address, it had to be in St. Albans, which it isn't, but he couldn't understand that.
Yeah.
But he did give me a place to go to on their website where he said that the store's 9-digit zip code would tell whether or not it was obligated to pay this extra tax. So, and I asked him if he had the 9-digit zip code for that store. He said no, and no one seemed to know what it was, so I called the store itself, talked to the manager, and he gave it to me. I went to their website, looked up, there were just thousands of 9-digit zip codes in there from all the towns that have this 1% tax. So I looked, because it has a St. Albans mailing address, I looked under the St. Albans 9-digit zips that are obligated to pay the tax, and it wasn't there. It didn't fit into the sequence of numbers. So I don't even know why they're being told they have to, by someone at the state, presumably.
How
that
did
they
we
have
resolve this the last time it happened?
Right?
Did we go through the Tractor Supply themselves, their corporate headquarters contracted?
Called Tractor Supply and talked to them about it, and I did talk to St. Albans Town, and I actually called the tax department to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And the tax department was good with it then, and so was the town. And the store was aware, once we talked to them, was aware of it, and they were going through their corporate to get them to change,
Yeah.
because it's all in their system. And he said it took, I talked to the manager there, this was probably 6 years ago, and that happened again.
Yeah.
The manager there was really worked well, and he just said that they decided, figured out, worked it out, that they knew they weren't supposed to be paying it, but it took them like 2 months to get their software to correct that tax in St. Albans, but they did do it.
Yeah.
But
And,
this time it
and
seems
if I
to be-
recall, correct me if I'm wrong, the last time it happened a few years back, that people that had the receipts could take the receipt back and get their 1% penny back or whatever it was, but, because they're overcharging people, they're not supposed to be charging them 7%, it's not supposed to be 6%, so. Well, technically, it's not that, because the 1% must end up in the state or something,
It goes
so.
to the, it goes to the town.
Or the town, yeah.
St. Albans.
Not all.
Yeah.
Not all.
Not all of it,
Percentage,
yeah.
right? Percentage.
You got anything to add on that, Brian?
Well, I was also involved with it 5 or 6 years ago.
Last one, yeah, I was on the board when it came forward.
And I threatened the person, I shouldn't say threatened, with the tax department. He was insistent that it was in the town of St. Albans. I said, you drive up here, get off at exit 20, you meet me there, and I will show you where the town line.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to go to that route. I said, just take our word for it. I said, and so it was, and then I was surprised to hear that it has come back to haunt us again.
Yeah.
Now, and one of the things that I received from the tax department, they kind of insinuated it was Tractor Supply makes the error. I disagree. It's the
Yeah.
state of Vermont that made that error.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, somebody's gonna be telling them that they need to charge
That's
this, they're
right.
not just gonna
That's
add
right.
it themselves.
That's right. They just
Yeah.
won't add something on themselves. And so the way that works is it all goes to the the state. The state keeps keeps a third of that 1%.
Yeah.
As an administration fee, and the rest goes to the town of St. Albans.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware the last time that people were able to get a refund if that is the case. And,
I don't know, I
because-
remember him saying that before, someone was.
But I also spoke with Senator Corey Parent in his role as the Director of Operations for the town of St. Albans. And he said, if we needed support, they'd write a letter saying this is great, it's definitely not the town of St. Albans.
Yeah.
So that's where it stands. I mean, if they're gonna correct it, I know it may take a month or two to get all the computers fixed and whatnot, so. But hopefully it won't happen again. You'd think people working for the state would understand that the geography and the zip codes don't always work.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I was curious to see on like rooms and meals tax if Mother Hubbard's was charging the extra 1%. If they put them in, and I just haven't made it out there and asked.
Yeah, I'll check, I can check them next time I saw it. but-
You're closer to them than we are,
Yeah.
than I am. So it just, they had the St. Albans address.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, and one other thing, this state official that I spoke with told me was that he gave me an email where you can file a complaint with the tax department if you feel something's wrong. So I gathered the information that I needed, including a map of the area that showed clearly where the boundary line was, and also a copy of the page where it showed the gap where the 9-digit zip should have been and wasn't. and sent that to them, and then the next day they sent an email back that said you're right, we agree with you, and we'll take care of this. So I've been waiting since then to see if they actually have taken it off there. So that's where that stands now.
Time will tell.
All right. C, letter of support for the Fish and Wildlife in Jarvis Lane purchase.
That's, you approved it,
Yep. We just need to sign it.
Yeah, it's gonna read what I revised. It's on the very last page in that area. So the email was out probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave it in. It was Earl that asked for the extra
Yeah.
indication that they'd be making, hopefully we'll make some effort to put some recreational use.
Certainly doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. Even if it's just trails. So if you agree with that, I'll
Yep.
give you the.
Okay. There's just a packet for something. Anything else on that, Aaron?
No.
So, that's fast. Community economic development updates. Who's it that?
I know, nice to be sitting in the audience.
Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, no, so, couple of things, I had an update because I know Earl's been on the Riviera Hotel. They were supposed to meet in July to get the money allocated, they didn't. They were supposed to meet the first Monday of August, they didn't. So we're 99% sure they're gonna fund most of it, and then Northwest Regional Planning should fund the rest of it. So we can get the brownfields moved on, so there's my update on the roof for Earl who's not here. And I know you're interested too. The big thing, the big thing I'm working on is in September, we're going to the downtown steering committee, which is Mark, me, Neil, Reg, and Gordon. I had to make sure I got everybody, are gonna go to the village to ask for grant funds. There's the transportation alternatives to implement some of the things that, the phases that came out of the scoping study. Includes the three-way stop at First Street and Grand Avenue. It includes updating the sidewalk location at Merchants Row, shortening the crosswalk across Grand Avenue in front of Cody's because it's very long, and then a couple other crosswalk areas. So we're going to be asking for $300,000 with that application due November 24th. So go from the scoping study phase to the implementation phase. So hopefully the next couple of years we'll see some changes in the downtown. I did reach out based on our discussion about potential uses for ARPA funds. I reached out to one of the property owners because we have to, you know, it is private property, and they have been in contact with the developer. So who I happen to see on Wednesdays when I'm in St. Albans. So I'm going to talk to him about their development plans for that property. So kind of working both ends, southern growth and downtown.
Do you have any new updates on the sidewalk? Where that's at, what phase?
I can get Bethany to give an update. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm leaving because I can't.
Oh, sure.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you again.
Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Good night, folks.
Good night, have a good rest.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, right, thank you.
General orders. I hear a motion to approve the general orders from 7/21 to 8/17/2021.
I'll make a motion to accept the general order dated 7/21/2021 to 8/17/2021.
Take a second on that.
I will second that.
Alright, take a moment, look down. I was just gonna say the same thing.
Yours?
They ain't going to do that. I did have a question on there. I know you got 2-3 different purchases of flags vacuum, and some of that stuff.
It's because it all goes to, it's all on the credit card.
Yeah.
So when I do my in the accounts bill and put what the money was spent on,
Yeah.
it ties to, so
Okay.
like,
Doesn't mean we bought flags 3 times and 4 vacuums.
no, it's because it
That's what
all
I'm
goes
trying
to the
to
same person. So basically, all those funds covered the flags, vacuuming cartridges, our GoDaddy for emails.
Yeah.
Our maintenance extension on our
Okay.
backup power for, and then more ink and all tags.
Yeah.
That's it.
What was the Franklin County Fort money?
That's our, we pay that every year to, it's for the court system, Franklin County court system, every town contributes to their salaries in the courthouse.
Very nice, yeah. I guess they did know that, I just forgot that. Yeah, a little bit. You guys got anything?
No, good.
Alright. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Highway orders, I hear a motion to approve the highway orders from 7/21 to 8/17/2021.
I will make a motion to accept the highway orders 7/21/21 to 8/17/21.
I'll second that.
Discuss. What did we not do on Robin Hood, we used crossword?
Stormwater permit,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
that's the annual
Okay.
application,
didn't,
that's
uh,
nice.
It's one more way to say it gets money from this.
Yeah. Who's there?
Brian's gonna do
Yeah. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. And payroll from 7/21 to 8/17/2021.
I'll make a motion to accept the payroll orders dated 7/21/2021 to 8/17/2021.
Second,
I will second that.
okay, any other discussion? Simple. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, ayes have it.
Before we start.
Alright. Recorded financials. Yeah.
On the agenda
They
fund
glasses
first.
for the last one, we didn't even list one.
No, actually, this is,
Want to do the general fund first?
Sure, that's what's in front of me, so we'll go.
Basically, right now, we're 8 months into our budget, which is like 66.66%
Mhm.
of the budget being should be spent. And right now, the total general fund is at 63.28%. A couple of things, the selectmen know, what my percentages are is this, the selectmen salaries have been that way since March. That's the way it was, because we had people come in, people leave, and come over budget with that. Lister salaries are on target, we won't have any more auditor salaries going out. Assistant clerk are on schedule, town administrator on schedule, administrative assistant on schedule. The only thing I'm gonna go over, everything pretty much is on task, on schedule, on budget. Things we're getting close to is like printing. We've had a lot of extra advertising in the messages, it is very expensive to do it, so when we did the job postings and the DRB and planning, it used to be like $78, now it's like $125 for an ad, and the employment ads were like $300 a piece, so we had a lot of extra, printing for that. Let's see, election expense, legal fees were over our budgeted amount, but that's because we did a lot with Leader and Leader got reimbursed. They reimbursed us the legal fees on that, but I still have to show the expense. And then the town office complex, that is because out of that line item, we have spent $28,028.40 went to Cornerstone to start the windows, so that was an added expense. And.
So we're gonna take that out.
Right, we have offsetting for it, but I mean, I'm gonna explain why we
Yeah.
budgeted so
Okay.
much. It's
Yeah,
because
no,
we do
you're
have the
good.
money to offset it.
Yep.
And then we got the new, 2034s for the new alarm system that we have
Mhm.
here. So, and anything else is just our normal things that we normally have that would not put us over budget, but because we're doing the windows, and we have the alarm system, it kind of bumped us up quite a bit over. But we have the money in account offsetting that expense.
I have a question.
Mhm.
That civil defense money,
Yep,
is that for the gym backup generator we have? Or what is that money?
no, that money goes into like emergency management.
Yeah,
We have
okay.
2 separate emergency funds, so like when, what have we done, we bought a computer for
Yeah.
emergency management. It's
But I thought that generator we have at the town shop was something to do with emergency.
It's part of it, unless we
I thought it had something to do with.
It doesn't come out of that fund now.
No, I thought there was money for that generator because it had something to do with this whole emergency thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
And then the next page is just the. So, is our normal, the zoning, everything's, I think the budget's pretty good, it's all on tax where it should be as far as the money going out. And the appropriations on bottom of page 2 will get paid once we receive all the tax money. And we have. Oh, you know what, and I just saw it there on the Swan maintenance, I forgot we raised that to 2,000, so I have to send Joyce another $500. Also used to
What
be
is it?
1,500, the Swan care maintenance.
oh, yeah.
Joyce had called for the check, and I'm so used to it being 1,500, so I'm gonna have to call
First,
her
I'm
now.
surprised she didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Because it's in, it's new time it's been out, so I didn't
So
realize.
so basically, that's where we're staying, we're at 63.28% of our budget right now.
I have another question. White station, is that, there's money in there for that?
Yeah,
Is
there
that-
is. It's not in here, it's not an expense because it was a grant we got,
Yeah,
so it's money we have in the revenue that we will.
yeah, we haven't spent the money yet, though,
No, we
right?
have
No.
not.
That was to buy those like repair stations, right? Was that what that was for?
I believe so.
Yeah, well, I should ask, that's, I thought we were supposed to get those quite a while
I thought
ago.
they came in,
I
Yeah,
thought
they,
we did get them in there, or.
they hadn't put it in there.
they ordered and they're up in the garage over top, but apparently there was a part that didn't come, so they can't set them up. That's the last one,
I'll have to look at
that's
it, I
the
just
part
put
it's
2 in
not.
on the other trail for Francisco.
There, it
I'll
should be
ask him
there.
if they're missing. I didn't realize we had them, so I'll bring that up.
Yeah, they came last year.
Just we need to get that done, or I had no idea you're up there.
Out of sight, out of mind, though, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
Any questions?
No,
Good job.
perfect.
Lot of numbers for you.
Yeah, that's great.
And then
Oh,
for
yeah.
the general fund, what I did, because I know we have some items that are over budget, but I wanted to, I actually printed those expenses just to let you know what threw them off more than what we should have as far as, because we have an extra for the, to fix the Mac and the
Yeah.
international to Clark's, we have an extra $13,346 in repairs. And then for the Volvo, we had $12,929 in repairs. So right there is
No.
about,
International, right?
yeah, the internationals was Clark's.
Yeah.
And the Volvo was Sheldon Truck.
That's right, we had that in something.
So we have $12,929 and $13,000 for those two, but we didn't plan on, unfortunately, the expenses for
Yeah.
this year. So that's why the, parts, supplies, and repairs are so high.
Okay. What's that?
It's all yours now.
Yeah,
And now it's
so
top.
you go for it, you can have it. Yeah, I will.
Pretty much, I think it seemed to be pretty much in line there. There's a couple items that are highlighted, the stormwater permits, I don't foresee us, we shouldn't be getting any more, should we have to run that?
I don't think so.
So that's not gonna change, and then the Route 78 sidewalk, I mean, we do the 40,000, that's what we put in there every year, we're at 77%. I'm sure we'll get some more bills. The Macomb Shore feasibility study, that's the grant, but we put our $11,000 in it, but we still have some expenses that are coming in, so we'll get that money back with the grant. I haven't gotten grant money back yet for that. And then the new truck, that's taken care of. Accounts. On page 2. We'll disperse the fire protection when we get tax money.
That's good. Any questions?
No, extenders.
Spend once in a while. Tax rate.
So, in front of you, you should have a sheet for the tax rate. So basically, on the left-hand side is last year's tax rate. The bottom line is last year, the residential rate was 1.8118, the non-residential rate was 2.0092. So the biggest change is our municipal rate went down, it sounds like a lot, 12.6%, but it's because when you, it's 12.6% or 0.3935. It's not like 12% of our budget went down, just the rate went down. So, and then the residential education rate from last year to this year went from 1.4183 to 1.371, which is a 0.0473 decrease. The non-residential rate went 1.6157, but it actually increased 1.6384, but because our municipal rate went down, the actual non-residential rate went down a little bit too. So our education rates for residential had a 3.33% decrease, and the non-residential education rate had 1.405 decrease based on last year's tuition and calculating the payment. So the residential rate for this year will be 1.7149, and the non-residential rate will be 1.9823. So that looks good.
Means your tax rate went down, right?
They are going down slightly for the first time in a very long time. So,
All right.
so I need one of these signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a motion to approve it.
Yeah. Entertain a motion to approve the new tax rate.
Make the motion for the new tax rates as stated.
Any second?
I will second that.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Highway updates, the new truck, we should receive that in the next few weeks. The company that put it together, the body and everything, asked if they could use it on September 2nd for a show in New Hampshire, truck show. I told them to use it. They're gonna give us an $1,800 bed chain for free for using it, so I thought it was a fair trade. I think they did that with one of our other trucks before. So, and as I said to Kevin, I said, well, I said, there's one good thing, they're gonna hurry up and make sure it's ready. I said, let's go to the truck show, so it's a win-win, so hopefully we'll have the truck after that, so. Roadside mowing, we've got some new blades for the iron mower, we're gonna get those on so we can finish our brush hogging and stuff. Paving's completed, it was completed last week, it all looks good, yeah. The guys are doing, shoulders right now, we're doing, working with town of St. Albans, because we helped them earlier this spring with some trucking and grading. So now they brought their shoulder machine over that goes on the loader and it, they dump into it and it lays the stuff on the side, it's pretty slick rig, so. Little barter. Other than that, I gotta call tomorrow and check on the sweeper, the thing should be done, I don't know what the problem is. They're waiting on a part, the part was supposed to be in last week or the week before, so. It should be done, so I'll check on that tomorrow and see. Don't have anything else.
Cleaners, it sounds like you have to check on the garbage bags.
I forgot, I'll mention it to you tomorrow. Call me tonight on the things and forget that, so.
Please thank them from the rec department. We had such a great time when they came for their touch a truck.
Oh, yeah.
Big rig day.
Yeah.
And when they came back the second time to hose everybody down with the fire department, the kids had a blast.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Nice, good. All right, anything else from my way? Any other necessary business, discuss future Zooms for use of meetings. All I just have to say, that's the best Zooms ever worked, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been here since 6.
Yeah,
What's the brand for them?
I will send you the link tomorrow.
yeah,
I would really hate to see Zoom not be an option with the state of the world. I just, even though there's not many people on tonight, I think the accessibility factor just opens it up to more people, especially since their variants are coming out, and I think with the proper equipment, we didn't have any
You can make
problems.
it work right and make it simple, I'm fine with it, but it's the hassle.
I think an upgrade to our equipment is definitely needed. Purchasing of a projector. This evening, Northwest Access Public TV bought speakers, although the projector sound is quite well. It wouldn't hurt to have an extra set of speakers on standby. I think it's just as meetings grow bigger and more people become involved, I think it's a valuable resource for us as a board and just as a community to have it, so.
As far as setting it up, Shannon, did you have parts of it, learning and understanding it, David, somebody that if you're not here, we need to have that person there?
I can certainly go through everything to make sure, and then as far as the link and stuff like that, David and I set it up that it will constantly be a recurring link, and it's that same number that people have used this evening that will always be the select board meeting number.
Very good.
So it will always stay the same.
Yeah, one other thing, we have to start saving the recordings of these meetings somehow separately. Because I got an email notice from Zoom that we've already exceeded our recording limit. It was supposed to be a limit of 1 minute, and it's up to 3 now.
I
So,
will work on backing that up.
yeah, if you
Make
can
sure.
record it separately and then delete what's on there, then that's for,
Thank you, Nicole, for your work with that, I appreciate it.
Sure.
And if we need to purchase one of those, a new projector and the speakers,
yeah, we'll get them.
have Nicole show what the order is.
Yeah, so
We'll do that first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
That was $89.
exactly, I think we can spend a couple $100 for the projector and speakers, so we can do this right. Not have the hanging. Sponsorships for flags are still available.
Yeah, it's about 17 left.
Okay.
People are interested.
Yeah.
And I still have it on electronic side.
Okay.
And someone mentioned, I don't know if it was at the meeting last night. Do you remember at the meeting last, someone mentioned that the electronic sign was sinking?
Was it sinking?
Yeah, if you're facing it, the left side is probably down, I'm guessing, maybe a couple inches.
Interesting.
Just gotta, yeah, maybe I noticed when I was in there, there's 4 bolts, maybe it'll loosen them and then
Yeah.
just pull it.
Yeah.
Just off too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be temporary. The original plan, but
I
it's,
think it's a good asset.
yeah, no, it's great. Public comment, you got anything to add in the public
Yes,
comment?
hi, I'm Mark Nolan, and you're all familiar with me and my dog bite situation. So I have several points that I'd like to make, and I don't have to do it tonight, but they deal specifically with budget and finance and policy as far as the animal control officer is concerned, and some, as a general practice. I'd like to understand more about how deviations and variance from town law are handled, and what are the plans to make sure that there's remediation so that it doesn't happen again. So what I'm referring to specifically is some examples where in the book it has a good description of exactly what the animal control officer does and does not do. So when you put that in the book and everybody's voting on these things, and you come back and you do something quite the opposite, what are the steps in remediation that you follow for that? Everybody makes mistakes, not everybody's 100% perfect, but when problems happen, what do you do to fix it? So also in terms of the budget, I've looked at both the animal control officer. I see that it increases substantially every year by about 3.8%, which is not a lot, but it's also over every year. And are there ways that we can look at that to make that more efficient and drive value for the taxpayers? I'm a consumer of these services, and I'll tell you I'm very dissatisfied with it, but that's not the point. The point is what exactly, how do we hold people accountable for doing what they're supposed to do by the law and by what's in the book within the budget? Very simple executive principles that is being played. So if you want me to take the time now, I can go over them. It's 8:30. Was he not here, or was I late today?
You were late, we did it earlier in the meeting,
Okay.
if you were here. So, I would ask you to probably put it on the agenda, so we vote on the agenda, and public comments basically won't make a comment, so.
Okay, cool.
But certainly if you wanna put it on the next agenda. I will say budgetary stuff, we talked about that in the fall when we do budgets for the following year. If there's something with numbers or something like that, as far as budgeting things,
Right.
that's when we handle those issues.
Okay, and I do just the last question is, when does the warrant open and close from public town meeting? This is a public town meeting forum. It's not the legislative board is the citizens, right? So it's not
When we warn having the town meeting,
well, how is the budget formulated, and when does the warrant open and close? When do you close it to say this is it and we're going to give it to the taxpayer?
well, it has to be voted on.
Right.
Yeah. Just before we can.
No, he means
The
publication date.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
it gets published, that's it.
Yeah,
Goes
right.
out to the printing, that's it.
Right,
Yeah.
so that happens before the annual meeting.
Right.
which is-
Yes.
Okay,
Happens
Yeah.
in January.
so,
Yeah, happens January sometime, the deadline is,
okay, cool.
we determine that
That's
before we get
exactly
there,
what I
but.
wanted to know. January, there's no finance committee, so who leads the budget process?
Select board does.
Thank you.
Yeah, we start usually in October, November, start doing budgets on all the different departments, so.
And for ordinance and law, that falls the same suit as the budgeting process, correct?
Yep. All right,
Thank
yep, thank you. Upcoming events, planning commission meeting, 6 P.M. Wednesday, August 18th, in the town office building, 1 Academy Street. DRB meeting, 6 P.M. Thursday, August 26th, in person in the village complex, 120 First Street. Next select board meeting will be Tuesday, September 7th, 7 P.M. in person, 1 Academy Street. Executive session. We have executive session on for personnel.
I move that we finally enter executive session for select board to receive confidential contract, real estate personnel information for the premature disclosure of it to the general public, will clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I move that, based on just made findings that premature disclosure will place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage, we enter executive session.
I second that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I'll make a motion, we exit executive session at 9:03.
I will second that.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now in executive session. Action taken none.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 9:04.
I will second that.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.